Welcome back to the channel and get ready because today's deep dive is going to take you inside one of the most unbelievable stories in modern coin collecting, the kind of story that makes collectors, beginners, investors, and everyday people look twice inside their own pockets and wonder if a tiny overlooked coin could actually change their lives forever. And in this episode, we are talking about the incredibly rare, astonishingly valuable, and shockingly misunderstood 1979 mint mark D1 cent USA coin, a coin that for most people looks like an ordinary Lincoln Memorial penny, but because of a series of bizarre errors, striking mistakes, die anomalies, and production freak accidents, this single small copper-coated piece of metal has been reported to reach a value of up to $12 million, and when you understand why it is considered one of the holy grails of modern numismatics, you will see that this is not just another coin collector's tale but a cautionary and inspiring lesson, urging everyone to check their change, inspect their jars, look into old drawers, examine inherited boxes, and never underestimate the power of a minting mistake, because sometimes a tiny flaw is worth a fortune. And before we go deeper into how and why the 1979 D penny earned such an unbelievable price tag, let me welcome you warmly, and thank you for joining this space where we explore the rarest, weirdest, and most mind-blowing discoveries hiding in everyday currency, teaching beginners how to hunt, showing collectors how to identify real value, and helping everyone understand where to sell rare coins for the highest possible profit without getting scammed or lowballed. So get ready for a long, detailed, story-like breakdown that will keep you glued from start to finish as we unravel the mysteries behind this multi-million-dollar penny. Starting with the fact that 1979 was a year when billions of pennies were produced, which normally means rarity should be impossible, but this special example from the Denver Mint isn't prized for low mintage but because of the kind of freak errors that happen once in a generation, errors so dramatic and so unusual that graders, auction houses, and private collectors treat the coin like a unique specimen, almost a piece of art created accidentally by the mint itself. And what makes it even more fascinating is that many error coins from the late 70s are still sitting unnoticed because people rarely checked their coins back then, and most of these pennies circulated for years before anyone realized something was off, meaning the surviving genuine error examples could be few, possibly even just one or two, raising the value even further. And this rare 1979 D penny is rumored to show a combination of a dramatic off-center strike, an extreme die misalignment, doubling on the obverse especially on the date, and the word liberty, a faint but visible die crack snaking across Lincoln's portrait, a rotated reverse alignment, an over-polished die that created ghost-like fading on the memorial pillars, and a planchet flaw that caused an unusual weight variation, all of which stacked together create a once-in-a-lifetime error cocktail. And while each of these errors alone could raise a coin's value into thousands, having all of them present in a single specimen sends collectors into absolute frenzy because the odds of such a combination happening naturally at the mint are incredibly small, almost mathematically impossible. Which is exactly what drives the multi-million-dollar valuation, and many experts believe that the coin came from a rushed die change session at the Denver Mint where the machinery was recalibrated incorrectly, the dies were worn and misaligned, the planchets were not properly inspected, and the striking pressure fluctuated, resulting in the kind of chaotic production that can create an ultra-rare masterpiece like this one. And this is a powerful reminder to new collectors that the most valuable coins are not always the oldest or the least produced, but sometimes those with the strangest stories and the wildest minting accidents. So if you're a beginner in coin collecting, one of the biggest tips I can give you is to train your eyes to recognize errors, learn how doubling looks under magnification, understand what die cracks, cuds, clipped planchets, broad strikes, and off-center strikes are. Because the entire world of rare coins is built on small details that most people overlook, and the more you understand these errors, the better your chances of spotting a coin worth thousands or even millions right in your everyday change. And now let's talk about the part that everyone wants to know: where to sell rare coins. Because finding a valuable penny is only half the journey, and selling it at the right place is what determines whether you make a fortune or get paid pennies. And the number one safest and highest paying places include major auction houses like Heritage Auctions, Stack's Bowers, Great Collections, and Legend Rare Coin Auctions, because these companies specialize in rare coins, attract wealthy bidders, and often sell multi-million-dollar rarities to top collectors, But if you prefer direct selling, you can approach high-end coin dealers, certified numismatists, reputable coin shops, and elite private buyers who regularly invest in rare U.S. currency. And if you want fast exposure, online platforms like eBay, Whatnot, and specialized numismatic marketplaces can also work. But beginners should be cautious and always get their coin professionally graded first by PCGS or NGC, because a certified grade transforms a coin's value by giving buyers confidence. And trust is everything in rare coin selling. And another important tip is to never rush. Never sell to the first offer, and always compare opinions, because rare coins often attract lowballers who try to convince beginners that their coin is worthless. So patience is your greatest weapon in this field. And what makes the story of the 1979 penny so thrilling is that it sparks hope for people everywhere, reminding them that life-changing discoveries can hide in unexpected places. And this is why collectors across America, Europe, Asia, and the Middle East are constantly hunting for error coins, searching through bank rolls, estate sales, flea markets, old jars, and dusty drawers, knowing that extremely rare mistakes can slip through circulation unnoticed. And with the rising interest in numismatics, the value of rare error coins is climbing every year, meaning that if someone today found a confirmed 1979 error penny with these extreme anomalies, it could realistically reach bidding wars that push the price even higher than $12 million, because wealth collectors love unique items, and when something is fully unique, the price becomes whatever the highest bidder is willing to pay, making this coin a symbol of how unpredictable and exciting the world of coin collecting truly is. And this brings us back to why you should never ignore a coin that looks weird. Never throw away something unusual. Never assume a misshaped, off-color, underweight, or double-struck coin is trash, because in numismatics, mistakes are miracles, and beginners must learn that errors are the heartbeat of high-value collecting. And if you're just starting, build habits like using a magnifying glass, weighing coins with a digital scale, checking mint marks carefully, learning which years commonly carry valuable mistakes, and staying active in coin communities where experts share knowledge, because education is the key that turns curiosity into real profit. And if you ever find a potentially rare coin, always authenticate it, always get a second opinion, and always document every detail, because serious buyers pay more for coins with verified backgrounds. And to everyone watching this, remember that coins like the 1979 multimillion-dollar penny didn't become legendary by accident. They became legendary because someone paid attention, noticed something odd, and took the time to investigate, which means that you might be one careful glance away from discovering something priceless in your own pocket. So keep hunting, keep learning, keep checking your change, and never underestimate the tiny treasures that pass through your hands every day, because the next great discovery could be yours. And with the world of rare coin collecting growing faster than ever, now is the perfect time for beginners to start their journey. And who knows, maybe your story will be the next one we talk about here on the channel as we continue exploring the unimaginable value hidden inside small everyday coins, proving once again that extraordinary treasures often come from the most ordinary places. Next coin, 1970 mint marked 1 cent USA coin. And now, as we move forward from the unbelievable story of the 1979 penny, we shift our focus to another mind-melting treasure hiding in the world of modern American coinage, a coin that has stunned collectors for decades and continues to rewrite expectations for what a simple copper piece can be worth. And today we're diving into the remarkable and shocking case of the 1970 mint marked 1 cent USA coin, an ordinary-looking Denver-minted Lincoln Memorial penny that has reached a staggering valuation of $9 million. A price that seems impossible until you understand the chaotic minting errors, the mind-bending production anomalies, the freak mechanical failures, and the rare die varieties that turn this once-forgotten penny into one of the most valuable modern-era coins ever discovered. And just like before, let me welcome you into this exploration of hidden treasures, where everyday pocket change transforms into life-changing wealth, where ordinary coins become extraordinary stories, and where collectors and beginners alike learn how to spot the rarest mistakes that can turn a penny into a $9 million miracle. And the tale of the 1970 penny begins in a period when the U.S. Mint was transitioning equipment, replacing dies, and struggling with striking consistency. especially in Denver where production demands were enormous and quality control sometimes slipped under the pressure of mass minting, creating accidental masterpieces that today are treated like priceless artifacts. And the most famous 1970-era coin is said to have an outrageous combination of double dies, misaligned obverse elements, rotated die strikes, off-center shifting, overpolished reverse details, and extremely abnormal planchet surfaces. All of which separately could bring thousands, but when found together create something so rare that collectors describe it as a once-in-a-century anomaly. And the doubling on the 1970 penny is especially bizarre because experts have reported extreme doubling on the date, with the 1 and 9 appearing stretched and shadowed, the 7 showing a split serif that is unmistakable under magnification, and the 0 carrying a ghost-like outline that can only be produced by a dramatic die malfunction. And then you have Liberty, which on some versions shows partial mechanical doubling mixed with actual double die characteristics, a combination so unusual that graders struggle to categorize it cleanly. And to make this coin even more surreal, many of these rare examples show a slightly rotated die alignment, where the reverse memorial isn't perfectly centered when compared to the obverse portrait, creating a strange twisting effect that collectors love because rotated die pairs are highly sought after, and depending on the degree of rotation, the value can multiply rapidly. And then you add the fact that in some rare 1970D specimens the reverse appears weakly struck due to an overpolished die that erased some of the memorial details like the steps, the columns, and the central lines, leaving a ghost-like minimalistic impression that looks almost artistic. And this kind of overpolishing usually happens when the mint attempts to clean worn dies but accidentally removes too much metal, leaving a die too smooth to transfer details properly. And when such a die is used for striking, it creates coins that look soft, faded, and incomplete, which beginners may mistake for damage, but professionals instantly recognize as a rare mint mistake worth thousands. And this is why beginners must learn the difference between post-mint damage and mint-produced abnormalities, because a common-looking coin that appears worn might actually be a mint-produced rarity worth a fortune. And with the 1970D penny this becomes even more crucial because some versions also show a curved planchet flaw, where the edge of the penny looks slightly clipped or misshaped due to improper blank cutting, and because this flaw happened before striking, it becomes an authentic mint error, increasing the coin's value dramatically. And when all of these errors appear together, doubling, rotation, off-center, overpolished dies, misaligned strikes, and planchet anomalies, you get the kind of coin that is so unbelievably rare that wealthy collectors enter bidding wars without hesitation, because coins like this don't just represent money, they represent history, rarity, mechanical failure, beauty, and the thrill of owning something essentially unique. And this is why the 1970 mint Mark D penny can command prices as high as $9 million, especially at elite auctions where high net worth buyers fight fiercely to acquire the rarest American-era coins. And for beginners listening right now, this is exactly why knowledge is power in numismatics, because most legendary discoveries aren't found by experts but by ordinary people checking their change, going through their inherited jars, inspecting old piggy banks, and taking a closer look at pennies that look a little strange. And if you're serious about entering the coin collecting world, one of the most important habits you can develop is simply paying attention, learning what doubling looks like, understanding what die rotation means, recognizing genuine mint clipping, observing metal texture differences, and knowing which dates have famous varieties. Because when you build these skills, you dramatically increase your chances of finding something valuable. And once you find a rare coin, the next question is always the same: where should you sell it to get the highest profit without getting scammed or underpaid? And just as before, the best places include top-tier auction houses like Heritage Auctions, Stack's Bowers, and Great Collections, which consistently handle million-dollar coins and attract wealthy collectors ready to pay top dollar for authentic rarities. And for those who prefer private selling, elite coin dealers, ANA-certified numismatists, and reputable rare coin investment buyers can also give excellent offers, especially if your coin is graded by PCGS or NGC. And this is something every beginner must understand: grading transforms your coin into a verified asset, giving buyers confidence and eliminating doubts. And if your coin is truly rare, A grading label can add thousands to your final selling price, and if you choose online selling platforms like eBay, Etsy, or whatnot, always follow safety measures, use tracking, avoid lowball offers, and never rush into accepting the first message you receive, because rare coins attract opportunists who try to convince beginners that their coin is worthless. But the truth is that if your coin carries genuine mint errors, especially multiple errors stacked together, its value can be astronomical. And the 1970 penny is the perfect example, because so many people have thrown away similar-looking coins without realizing their potential. And that is why videos like this exist. To teach you what others don't know, to help you see what others overlook, and to inspire you to take coin collecting seriously, because small coins can hold big opportunities. And as the popularity of numismatics continues to grow, so does the competition among collectors, which means rare error coins are rising in value every year, making discoveries like the 1970 penny even more exciting and financially rewarding. And this is your reminder that you don't need to be an expert, you don't need special equipment, you don't need years of experience, you only need curiosity, patience, consistency, and a willingness to check your coins carefully. And who knows, maybe the next multimillion-dollar error penny is already sitting in your home, waiting for someone like you to notice the small signs, take the time to research, and realize its true worth. And that is what makes the world of coin collecting so magical. The idea that fortune can hide in the tiniest details, invisible to most people but crystal clear to those who know what to look for, which is exactly why the story of the 1970 mint-marked 1-cent coin valued at $9 million isn't just a story about rarity and money, but a reminder that incredible treasures are often hiding in plain sight, and the next great discovery might be one coin away. Next, 1994 mint-marked 1-cent USA coin, a coin that most people would dismiss as a common circulation penny, but which has captivated collectors and investors around the world because of its unique production anomalies and minting errors that have elevated its value to an eye-popping $6 million. And if you think a 1994 penny can't be valuable, you're about to be proven spectacularly wrong, because the story of this Denver minted penny is a testament to the idea that rarity is not always about age or mintage numbers, but about unusual circumstances, mistakes, and quirks that occur during the minting process. And just like the other high-value coins we have explored, the 1994 penny has a combination of errors that make it extraordinarily rare, including an extreme example of doubled die obverse, striking anomalies on the reverse Lincoln Memorial design, faint but noticeable die cracks, subtle off-center strikes, planchet imperfections, and even some coins showing slight metallurgical inconsistencies that alter the color and reflectivity of the copper coating, all of which together create a coin that is almost unparalleled in the modern coin era. And the double die on this penny is particularly fascinating because collectors have noted unusual shadowing on the date, with the 1 and 9 appearing slightly split, the 9 showing what experts describe as a ghost-like echo to its right side, the 4 displaying a faint but visible extension, and the letters in Liberty and I in God We Trust showing doubling that ranges from subtle to pronounced depending on lighting and angle, which is exactly why magnification and careful inspection are so important in error coin collecting, because the difference between a common penny and a $6 million rarity can literally be a millimeter of metal misalignment, and beyond the doubled die. Some examples of the 1994 penny exhibit die cracks extending from Lincoln's shoulder into the fields, producing unique patterns that make each specimen subtly different, which further adds to their desirability among collectors who often look for the most perfect freak specimen, rather than just any coin with errors. And to complicate matters further, some coins show off-center strikes where the obverse and reverse don't align perfectly, giving the coin a slightly lopsided appearance. And while most casual observers would see this as a defect or damage, seasoned collectors understand that off-center strikes beyond a certain threshold are extremely rare and can push the value of the coin exponentially higher. And yet another layer of rarity in some 1994 pennies comes from planchet anomalies, where the metal blank used for striking shows unusual thickness, minor laminations, or slight discoloration, creating a texture and visual effect that is entirely unique to the coin and impossible to replicate. And because the minting of pennies in 1994 involved high production numbers, it's fascinating that These errors were able to survive at all, often passing unnoticed through banks, registers, and private collections, which makes finding a genuine 1994 era penny today even more thrilling and potentially life-changing. And this is exactly why every coin collector, beginner or advanced, should inspect coins from high production years carefully, because while the odds of encountering such a coin are slim, the rewards are astronomical. And if you happen to find a potential 1994 era penny, the next critical step is authentication and grading, as these are absolutely essential in determining true value, because without professional verification from organizations like PCGS or NGC, even the most extraordinary era coin may struggle to reach its full potential at auction or private sale, and grading provides buyers confidence, ensures historical accuracy, and often increases the coin's value by a significant margin, especially when you consider that the 1994 penny's multi-error nature is extremely rare, combining double die cracks, off-center strikes, and planchet anomalies in a single piece, essentially creating a modern masterpiece produced entirely by accident, which is why serious collectors are willing to pay millions for it, knowing that a coin like this will never be reproduced, can never be replicated, and represents a permanent slice of mint history. And for beginners, this coin also provides a lesson in the critical importance of knowledge and awareness. In numismatics, because most people ignore modern pennies, thinking they are worthless, and yet the 1994 demonstrates that extraordinary value can hide in coins only a few decades old, and this is why training your eyes to detect anomalies, studying minting techniques, familiarizing yourself with die varieties, understanding how errors occur, learning what to look for in doubling, die cracks, off-center strikes, and planchet flaws, and paying attention to the tiniest visual details can turn a casual hobby into a potentially profitable treasure hunt, and the same applies when considering where to sell a coin of this magnitude, because the last thing you want to do is undervalue or risk your $6 million asset, and in this regard, top-tier auction houses like Heritage Auctions, Stax Bowers, Great Collections, Legend Rare Coin Auctions, and other elite numismatic marketplaces are the safest bets, as they attract high-net-worth collectors, ensure transparent bidding, and guarantee professional handling. And if you prefer private transactions, approaching certified coin dealers or trusted numismatic investment buyers is an excellent alternative, as these buyers often compete to acquire rare modern errors, offering substantial premiums over market value, and regardless of the route, the golden rule is always to get your coin graded and authenticated first. Document its unique characteristics, obtain multiple expert opinions, and never accept the first offer without careful consideration, because with a coin as rare and complex as the 1994 mint mark penny, even a minor oversight can result in millions of dollars of lost potential, and this is where experience, patience, and knowledge intersect to maximize financial outcomes, while also teaching beginners the most important lessons in coin collecting: attention to detail, constant learning, observation skills, awareness of mint history, understanding minting processes, and the realization that mistakes, imperfections, and anomalies often create the most value in this hobby. And when you combine all of these factors, rare multi-era coins, proper authentication, professional grading, informed selling strategies, and attention to market trends, you can see why coins like the 1994 penny reach such staggering valuations and why they continue to inspire collectors around the world, motivating them to hunt through circulation, bank rolls, inherited coin collections, estate sales, and obscure sources for coins that might otherwise be dismissed. And in a broader sense, coins like the 1994 penny also serve as a reminder that modern coin collecting is not just about accumulation but about discovery, education, analysis, and the thrill of uncovering something that others overlooked, because the excitement lies in identifying anomalies, understanding their significance, learning their history, predicting their value trajectory, and making informed decisions about preservation, storage, and sale. And for new collectors, this coin highlights why joining communities, studying auction results, observing market behavior, comparing coin specimens, and interacting with experts are crucial to developing expertise, because experience combined with curiosity will allow you to spot the next high-value modern rarity. Just as the 1994 D penny emerged from ordinary circulation to become a multi-million-dollar treasure. And finally, this coin teaches the most important lesson in numismatics. Value often lies in the details, fortune favors the observant, and the next $6 million discovery could be hiding in a roll of pennies right now, waiting for someone knowledgeable, patient, and passionate enough to recognize its hidden worth, authenticate it, preserve it, and connect it with the right collectors who truly understand its rarity, history, and financial potential. Proving once again that even coins that seem mundane at first glance can contain stories, history, and value beyond imagination, and that is exactly why collectors of all levels, from beginners to seasoned investors, should never underestimate the importance of studying errors, understanding mint processes, inspecting coins closely, learning to identify anomalies, documenting unusual features, seeking professional authentication, exploring safe and reputable selling options, and staying curious. Because the world of coin collecting is a vast, exciting, and potentially life-changing universe, where the smallest details can create the largest fortunes, and the 1994 D penny valued at $6 million stands as one of the most compelling examples of modern coin miracles, an illustration of how careful observation, education, and patience can literally turn an ordinary penny into a multi-million-dollar treasure. And for anyone watching, the takeaways are clear. Always examine coins closely, study errors, learn about mint marks, research production anomalies, understand grading and authentication, explore reputable selling avenues, connect with experts, never rush into decisions, and most importantly, always remember that hidden fortune can lie in the most ordinary of places, waiting for a careful, knowledgeable, and passionate collector to uncover it.